Yo, 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 what's good, my people? Look, I see y'all. Y'all want look, they here for the mess. Over under Lou showing up for the show today. Y'all put y'all over under. What's good, man? Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Blitz Pickup. Y'all already know we got a hot topic going on. Tyreek Hill, what they gonna do. I'm gonna be real with you. We not spending all day. I already see someone, but we spending all day on it. Now, but it is the hot topic, so we will address that. We also going to talk about what did this mean now that this came out. It was already rumors behind the scenes about whether he was going to get traded or not. Now after today's whatever happened. After what transpired today, let's see how that affect if the Dolphins actually put a trigger on him. I don't know, doubt it, but we'll talk about it. Before I do that, let me bring up my co-host real quick. Lou.
Hey, Tone, I'm pretty sure people are surprised me and you are doing a show. Oh man, what's good, Tone?
Hey man, what's good? Hey, as y'all can see me here, man. Listen. If y'all was on, if y'all was on X a little earlier, I told y'all a couple of times. We go at it sometimes.
Yeah, we get down on this side of the fence, Tone.
You
You
get
feel
down.
me?
You know what I'm saying? You gotta stand. Be telling you gotta stand on business over here because it gets like that sometimes. But yo, we good. You know
Hey,
what I'm
man,
saying?
listen. At the end of the day, Tone, brothers fight, dog. You see
That's
what I'm
so
saying?
fat
Brothers fight, man.
all
It is
day
what it
long.
is.
Yeah. But listen, obviously, you see breaking news, the situation with Tyreek. So we got to cover it. We got to see what's going on. What are your initial thoughts about it? I mean, came down. I'll tell you this: he was on ABC. It was on local news. The local news channel. It made the local news. So it wasn't only on Twitter. It made the news. So I think it was already before, right? That the Dolphins were there were rumors going around that the Dolphins was getting tired of his antics, and then something like this happened literally a day after. So, what's your thoughts on that, Lou? And you know what I'm saying? How you feel about it?
Tone, man, listen. I think the title of the show kind of says it all, bro. Tyreek just got to go, dog. Like he just got to go. Like at some point, like it's all the drama and all the trolling and all just the storyline, right? Is it worth the investment? And up to this point, Tone, we can say no. Like for 3 years now, he's been the highest paid player, or at least on this team, wide receiver wise, before some of these deals have gone out. And we have no division titles, no playoff wins, and it just seems like again the end is closer than the beginning.
Yeah, it does. I'll tell you that. Von Joe, man, you got to hit me up. Hey, Von Joe, you see that Gator boys?
Hey
I had to
man,
wear
hey
I had to
man.
rock the blue today. You know what I'm saying, Von Joe? But you know what? This is an interesting take by Jess. She said, "What's left? What's Alex thoughts on Tyreek?"
You know what, man? That you know what? That's crazy, man.
Nobody wants that cancer suicide. I see you in there.
Yeah,
Everybody wants
bro.
that Purple Heart. No, we're gonna take you down, Ali. I don't
Yeah,
know what
well,
to do.
no, no, no. Everybody, yeah. Get them purple hearts in the chat.
Yeah.
No, bro. Listen, Tyreek. Again, he just got to go because I think Benjamin was the one when we were having the conversation in the space, and I think Benjamin made a good point. This will linger, right? Like all these storylines. I don't know, Tony, if you've seen the. I guess Teron Armstead was just on with Kate Adams, and he was kind of saying some of the drama that the team had with Tyreek, like last year, some of the locker room issues, and especially the last game of the season when basically Tyreek quit. He said, no, players had a problem with that. And I just think, bro, it's too much stuff. And we're not reaping any of the benefits of having Tyreek on this team. So, nah, Tone, to give you kind of wrap it up, give you a little short answer. Nah, bro, he just got to go. It's not, to me at least, it's not worth the headache anymore, man. It was cute at first, the honeymoon. But again, it's like a relationship, right? Sometimes you meet someone, it's a honeymoon phase. You're in love, they can do no wrong. After a couple years, though, Nah, anything. The way that person might tie their shoes might rub you the wrong way. And I just think that that's how a lot of people are feeling in that building. Like, nah, a lot of the antics and shit that Tyreek does is kind of rubbing the people the wrong way. And at that point, get them up out of here.
Yeah, and listen, at the end of the day, whether you're a fan of them, whether you dislike them, whether you don't even care on, you don't fall on either side, one side or the other. The fact of the matter is, these distractions are starting to add up, and the distraction is starting to be bigger than the reward. He's not a difference maker like that to where you could cause all this chaos. Think about it. When I started saying it earlier, and when we started alluding to this, I'm like, yo, it's a reason that Kansas City they didn't mind letting them go. Like, they have a team built around them. Their team wasn't Tyreek centric, and maybe they didn't feel like they could win with a Tyreek centric team. Plus, then on top of that, he's also causing this kind of drama. Now, to Tyreek's credit, he had that incident outside, with the female, which was, that was a major one. And they got tired of that one. So, but he didn't have all of the issues that he had in here. He had that one issue, and then, they moved past it. And that was just enough for them to say, no, it's not worth it. And I just think over here as a franchise, sometimes you gotta set a standard, bro. And you gotta set an example and say, yo, no one player is bigger than the franchise. It doesn't matter how much production or whatever productivity he brings to you. When it comes to where's your moral compass? Compass. How are we allowing this type of stuff to continue to go on, and no one checks? He hasn't been so much as suspended. It's mind-boggling, and I'm not gonna do like what everyone else did, Lou, because everyone that's the low-hanging fruit. Tyreek this, he should go. Get him off the team. I said this at the end of last season when he made that little rant. I said, you know what? It's bigger than him. You said that. You disrespected us on national TV, live, matter what. You still your truth was coming out. Your frustration. When people are frustrated and they're drunk, that's when the truth tends to come out because you're not holding your tongue at that point, right? Okay, cool. Get him out of here. In no circumstance do I want anyone that feels that comfortable to say, go on TV and say, man, I'm done and all that. That's someone that doesn't have no fear of no consequences. He don't care. He felt like he's untouchable. And you alluded to this sometime too. Like, man, Tyreek is a mouthpiece for the rest of the people because he come with that cachet. Sometimes that's bad for you, Lou.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Tone, I see. Well, it's only one, and again, I've been getting along with G for the most part. Actually, I've been agreeing with G in some of the things he's been saying here recently. This is where, respectfully, I have to disagree. The man gave it his all for the first 2 years. Stop the hate. Like, at the end of the day, and I want to say this to G, Tone, because G, he doesn't. It's not that he don't like Tua as the person. He just don't like Tua as the player, right? But when G writes a comment like that, the man gave it his all for 2 years straight. Stop the hate. Well, then I'll tell you the same thing about Tua. Stop the hate. Because when that man came out and said he's literally ready to die on the field.
Yeah.
That's what the man said. That's giving it his all. When I hear someone say, listen, there's concussions and there's all kind of stuff that could prevent this guy or seriously get this guy hurt, and he says, no, I'm not quitting the game because I'm ready to die on the field, G don't want to hear that. G ain't putting tweets out saying, oh, the man's putting it up and giving it his all for the last 2 years. G ain't saying that. So, nah, bro, respectfully, G, I have to disagree in this situation. I love Tyreek as the player, productive, and when he's doing backflips and cartwheels in the end zone, as a fan, I love to see it. But at some point, the antics is not worth our investment from a money standpoint, because that's another thing we always talk about Tua and every other player, and the end results. The end results of having Tyreek on this team for 3 years is no division titles, no playoff victories. So, again, miss me with all he's doing for the team. It's not good enough. If we're going to hold the same energy for everybody, Tone, Tyreek is not above that criticism. I know I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm just saying the G and people that think like that. No, bro. No. It can't be like that. We gotta hold everybody to the same standard.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, let's just be realistic. This is not what you call it. This is not a football issue right here. This is more of a personal issue. So I'm sorry, bro. I could care less about how much you gave on the effort you gave on the field. You know, if you're doing this kind of stuff, I just don't want you associated with my team. Because we don't need people like that that's associated with our team. Now, y'all, if y'all was over there in the X, what, just a few minutes ago, me and Lou got in a real heated debate, you know, about that. And it's because, you know, the stance on that, you know, and people take that serious. That's not a laughing matter. That's not a joking matter. So I would say that, like, let's take the football aspect out of it. Let's just let them know, like, what about a character? What about his character? Do you want people with that kind of character? He does have now, albeit the reports came out, it don't look like there was no violence or nothing like that. So once we ruled that, I mean, once I read that and I saw that, I was like, okay, but history and prior behaviors, it do mean something. So he has a history of, you know, domestic violence. So that does mean something. So when things like this do happen, I will say this, and I'm not putting no judgment on no one. For someone, which was, if I'm not mistaken, it was her mother, so which was his mother-in-law, saw that and felt the need to protect their child, then maybe they're privy to things that we're not, and they felt that need, right? So let's just keep it like that. And I would like to address this for people because there are females in the community, because I know Nene, she was in there, you know what I'm saying? She had said something. I seen Vicinity say something down there in the chat, and I also seen, I think it was New, say something. Miss Relentless had a comment about it in the chat. So I will say this. Me and Lou had a heated debate, which was our situations that we had and how we handled it on our personal level, right? That's what the heated debate was. At the beginning, if you remember what happened, it was a troll because once, you know, you found out that it wasn't a big deal, you know, Lou brought up the fact that I wasn't privy to that she had a brother that played in the NFL, you know, and if your brother played in the NFL, so Lou was like, what is he doing in this whole situation? You know what I'm saying? So when, you know, when you think about that, I'm like, yeah, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? If you got a brother, he should go over there and take care of his business. So if his brother was privy to that, maybe he knew that it wasn't that big of a deal. And you know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't hear nothing about it. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying, he's not aware of certain things. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that something with any domestic came out with this woman. Am I right or wrong, Lou?
I don't know. I think this is the first time of domestic violence, but I don't think this is the first time that the police was, because wasn't there a story when didn't she already file for divorce one time and then the papers?
But because of the female, remember, because of the female thing.
Oh, because of that interaction, right?
Yeah,
right.
You remember that was, and remember it was about the also the house. You know how that. She might have set it on fire, found out, but it wasn't. Yeah, so Andrea said he filed last time actually. So it probably was, you know, something like that, but it wasn't nothing domestic. You know what I'm saying? So and Ms. Relentless said that too. So we know it was a little bit rocky on from that standpoint. So it wasn't a surprise. But when Tony, it comes down to,
I just got someone text me saying they don't think your mic is connected to StreamYard.
Okay.
Now you still sound good, but I don't know. I don't know if your mic is on. Yeah, I got you.
No, I can fix that real quick though. Let me check it. Take over real quick.
Yeah.
Yo, mic check. Is it better now?
There you go. Yeah, now it's connected. Yep. I mean, you still sounded good, but now, you can tell it's on now. Yep.
Okay. Hey, shout out to whoever touched you, whoever told you that. Because last time I ran a whole show, and no one told me. No one. So whoever that was, shout out to you, bro. The
Hey, shout out to that was El Cap, man. Shout out to
oh
Cap.
Cap, yeah. So shout out to you, El Cap. Um, okay, no, he's fine, good. All right, so I needed a mic for this one, anyways. So for people that was understanding, we were just uh took it upon ourselves because nobody wanted to be in the jumping to conclusions to switch it over to the brother. Well, at least I did switch it over to the brother, like what the brother was going to do, and then that's how it really went back and forth. So it wasn't really nothing personal with me and Lewis. It was just it was one phrase that Lewis said, "Nah, we ain't doing that."
Hey, man, oh, shit.
But for everyone that was wondering what it was about, it wasn't a troll with that situation. It was just a troll of her brother, like, yo, why he ain't pull up? You know what I'm saying? You could pull up, but and it was videos in the jumbotron and things of that nature. So that's how I go. But that's how brothers, we go back and forth, we do the thing. But I don't want people to think that we was taking that situation, because that'll never happen. We said what we had to say and move on. You get what I'm saying? But listen, Lou, in light of this, what we hearing right now, and then remember this, before there was already little murmurings behind the scenes, and people was getting, saying that the Dolphin was starting to get a little tired of his antics, and then all of a sudden this bomb dropped. So do you feel like this would eventually make the Miami Dolphins actually make a move sooner rather than later?
Well, I think the money situation has a lot to do with it, right? I think there's ramifications. Like if you traded them now, I don't even know how it works, but if you traded them now, yeah.
I call you in Jersey, my bad. I gotta apologize to all y'all. Hey, listen, man.
That's
I
crazy,
ain't too
man.
big on apologizing now. Y'all just got to step up. Come see me.
But no, I think again, if a team is willing to, because from what it looks like, Miami's probably going to have to eat a lot of that contract, right? So I don't know if they would be willing to do that. We all know that Daddy Ross has, the pockets to do it, but is he willing to just pay a man to go play elsewhere? That's a tough pill to swallow. Um, I think you were spot on in some of the things you were saying in the space, though, Tone. Whether they trade him or not, right? Like, I just want somebody needs to put foot in his ass, though. That's what they need to
Facts.
do. Like, someone needs to stand up and be like, call him out publicly. You know what I'm saying? Like be like, bro, we cannot have these stories popping up. We can't have you quitting on the team. We can't. It just seems a topic of conversation in our debate today, Tone, was enabling that person, right? In this situation, the Dolphins are enabling Tyreek to get away with absolutely everything he wants to do. There's no repercussion for anything he does, right? So, and that from that standpoint, I got what you and Von Joe were saying. So I don't know where they go. I don't know if they do put pressure, because it just seems like they've allowed this, right? So what it shows me is probably we're going to see that. I think they do try to, again, mend the fences. I'm not saying I agree with that, but no, I don't think this is going to put pressure. Now, there's probably teams calling it, and if a team, let's say, calls and says, hey, I'm willing to eat half of that contract, or if a team, let's say in the scenario, you got a first round pick and you blew the doors off the Dolphins, yeah, I think there would be. But I don't like if a team calls right now, Tony, and says, hey, I got a fourth round pick for you and you got to eat majority of the contract. I don't think the Dolphins would make that move, right? It has to be beneficial at some point for the Dolphins, because I just don't think they move like that. Perfect scenario. I don't want to do it live, but I'll do it. Like the Miami Heat. If this was the Heat, Tyreek Hill would be suspended.
He's out of there.
Tyreek Hill would be traded, right?
They shopping him
But
right now.
but with the Dolphins, no, I don't think they move like that. So, well, again, I don't agree with it. But no, to your question, no, I don't think, Tone. I don't think this puts pressure on the Dolphins to make a move.
And that's the thing that I wanted to focus on, because it's like they need to. At some point, right now, you have the one of the big opportunities. You have a major opportunity to send a message to everyone on that team, everyone in the league, to put people on notice that y'all going to stand for certain things that you won't stand for. And at this point, when is enough, and show that you got. Listen, we already the laughing stock when it comes to the front office and how this franchise is being ran, and this is look like just another feather in the cap for the people that think that this franchise don't know how to run a organization the right way, because certain things just shouldn't be allowed. I mean, not so much of a suspension. I don't know, and whatever. I think they should forget about the money. Forget about the cap hit. At some point, some things is bigger than money. And I do understand that Stephen Ross, right? He was like, man, this year, listen, I've been breaking the bank for everything. I mean, and doing everything that I can when it comes to opening up a checkbook for y'all to be successful for this team. And this year, it seems like he like, nah, y'all gonna have to figure it out some way, somehow. I get it. But then, man, I don't know. Do something, bro. Don't let them play. If you want to take the hit, don't let her play. Send a message. Go ahead, collect your check, and we'll shop you around. But we don't need you involved in this team or any team activities. I know it's something difficult to say. It might not be a popular take, but that's just my opinion. I wouldn't let something like this just fly under the radar, not because what he did was egregious, because you have prior histories of this, and then something like this shouldn't happen. You got to understand where you are. You're a public figure. I know some people are going to say, oh, he's a human being. Sometimes you should stay out of people's public lives. Unfortunately, when you took this profession and then you become you were voted number one player overall in the league. That comes with notoriety. That comes with celebrity.
It comes with a level.
It comes with. Go ahead.
It comes with a level of responsibility.
Exactly, a level of responsibility to where you have to hold yourself accountable for everything that happened on and off the field. We understand this, so miss me with let him live his life, let him stay out of his personal life. No, he chose to allow everyone in his personal life when he chose this sport. That comes with it. Whether it's fair or not, life isn't fair. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. So let's just live into that world. Life isn't fair. You can't change the world. You can only adapt to it.
I do want to answer the question from Ali. Tony and Lewis, does this enable Miami to enact level in the contract that can affect Tyreek's cap hit or money owed to Tyreek? I would say, if you're talking about since the cops were called or cops had to intervene in the situation, I would say, are we talking about because again, from initial reports, it was a domestic violence call. That's what the call was.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that, but we've already seen Tyreek win the situation. I think before the season, game 1. The police interacted with Tyreek already once before.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins with the
Mm-hmm.
traffic stop, right? So I don't know if maybe the domestic violence or what, because it's already said the case has been looked at and already closed, right? Like nobody was physically hurt or anything like that. That's what the story has been reported. They determined that. So for me to answer that question, I would say no. I don't think, because we've already seen cops involved in under Tyreek. But what do you think about that, Tom?
No, I would say no, because
okay.
It wasn't no charges pressed. I don't. They were saying it was open and closed. Now, apparently, there's no body cam. So before I ended up, I'm done talking about Tyreek. What I would say is this: I would say that if it seemed like he paid them off. I'm sorry. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. You can agree with it. You can't. But I'm just saying, we understand how things go. He's a celebrity, so guess what? I understand that comes with his celebrity status as well. So I can't get mad at it. I can say what I think it is, and but for the league to probably step in, there's nothing there because think about this. Whenever the league step in, they always say, what's the key thing? We have to wait till the legal enforcers finish their investigation. So once the case is already done, then they decide what course of action to take. This one is an open and closed case. No charges pressed. There was basically they were saying it was just not a big deal. So then the league has no reason to even step and say anything. The team has no reason to step up or say anything because I don't know what ground do they have right there about someone was caught. They was arguing.
Bro, all it is, in my opinion, is it's an optic situation. It's bad for the optics, the way it looks, right? It's just bad. It's bad publicity, is all it is. But as far as like to your point, Tone, the NFL stepping in or the Dolphins stepping in, nah, I don't think to your point, open and closed case. Like they showed up, they determined nothing was going on, keep it pushing. So yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying because I mean, what could they do?
Yeah, basically, what could they do?
Like, what could they do?
Well, I will say this though, and I want to ask you this because you missed the skill position guy over here. You know, I'm about the trenches. You know how that go. Do this change any my? You know what? I'm sorry. Listen. Go ahead. Do this change your thought process of how they would address the draft?
I would say no, but I brought this question up I was having a conversation earlier, and I brought this same question up. Would it affect the Dolphins draft? For me, it would not. But this goes right here, Tone, right? And this is to show everybody, brothers fight, but I think you'll like this conversation that I'm about to throw your way now.
I hope you finna say what I want for the cuss people out about. Go ahead, but please be on the same page.
Instead of having Chop Robinson on this team right now,
that's what the.
Hey, Tone, I already seen it in your face. Great minds think alike.
This what also.
We could have Brian Thomas Jr. on this team right now, Tone. What were people like me and you saying last season, Tone, at the draft? Brian Thomas Jr. was the pick, Tone.
He was the pick. Oh my God. I said this. First of all, he fell to you. You're not going to have Tyreek for that much longer. You need to plan ahead. We always talking about get ahead of contracts, get ahead on the people that you bring in. That goes for when people are about to leave as well, when they get too old, when they're starting to get too expensive and you can't afford them anymore. You always have to be 10 steps ahead. And I'm sorry. He was best player available there. And I'm not going to say messed it up, but I'm pissed off because this is the reason. This right here was one of the main reasons why I said, bro, if you bring Brian Thomas Jr. in, we wouldn't have to be dealing with all this nonsense with Tyreek and everybody running about, how you going to replace him? Where's the production is going? What? Are you serious? You got to replace it in the building. Now you can you should stand 10 toes down regardless. But now you had his backup, the fans, you could have even put that to the fans. Hey, listen, we got Brian Thomas Jr., move on. You get draft capital for him, and we're in a better situation. Like, you got to receive on a rookie contract. Waddle is no longer disgruntled, because I'm sorry to tell y'all, but that man is disgruntled. I'm telling you right now. Y'all can believe it if y'all want, but there's a reason y'all not seeing things from Waddle. There's a reason why he's been quiet. There is reasons for this, people. And all this 2000 and everything, if we brought in Brian Thomas Jr., we wouldn't be worried about this right now. It'll be a no-brainer. It's the same thing. Lou, I'm 2 for 2. In the off season, I said, let that man play on his 5th-year option. It's what's best for the Dolphins and for Tua because he get to prove himself, and the Dolphins don't get handcuffed with an injury-prone player, and you stuck up with his contract. And I also said, well, we both was like Brian Thomas Jr. We both was going crazy when we saw that man falling down that draft board.
Oh, absolutely, we were going crazy. But to your point, you said you're 2 for 2. I'm 1 for 1 then, because I said trade Tyreek before the season started last year.
You did. You most definitely did.
And I did not. And I was fighting against people that wanted to re-sign him and restructure the contract. I said no, let him play, right? If he don't like it, but get him up out of here, because being voted the #1 overall player in the league and coming off 2 back-to-back over 1,700-yard season, you're not getting the value that you could get for Tyreek is not going to go any higher. So, nah, bro, listen, it's a bad situation. Again, as much as Tone, you know this, I want to get off of Tua. I think Tua's a main reason of why this team is not winning. Bro, you could argue that Tyreek is just as much as a problem, bro. He's bringing down the locker room, the morale, the where he thinks he's bigger. I seen Von Joe say it earlier in the chat. Tyreek's problem is he thinks he's bigger than the overall team, than the logo. And I'm sorry, bro. Tua, Tyreek, or nobody else on this football team is bigger than the Miami Dolphins, is bigger than the logo. So, nah, bro, it's a big problem. And I think Miami should execute a plan to get Tyreek up out of here, because I already think the season might go not as well as maybe others. I think if you keep, and I know someone said it also earlier, at this point, bro, Tyreek is a cancer to that locker room, bro. To the overall team, he's just a cancer. And I don't know about anybody else, but when you go have cancer or whatever, you get cancer removed. You don't keep it around. So it just is what it is, bro, at this point.
That is 100% fact. She did say, speaking of Miss Religion, I think she said because he has a case against him, they're gonna be touchy with him. Now, I don't care. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You know, and that's off season. But when it comes to man, move off him. I mean, move on from him. I'm sorry. We should have had Brian Thomas Jr. here. Vonjo put we like almost Chop almost got the he said nah. Brian Thomas Jr. the home run. We like almost around here. Chop Robinson almost got the sack. Chop almost got the sack Robinson. And that's the problem, Vonjo. You know, you have to be able to forecast things. You have to have the foresight. That's part of the front office. I'm not even going to put it on Chris Greer. That's part of whoever up there make a decision. Brandon Sure, Tom Garfinkel, and Chris Greer. Lou, you want to know what's crazy though? And I'm starting to know at first, you know, the off season, first it was all Christopher Greer. Then it became the collective, right? Then it was Tom Garfinkel. You know, he had Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross came out, slipped up and said that Brian Flores had the answer to him and Tom Garfinkel. Then he switched up and said he worked along with him, you know, and then everything was, you know, me and you broke it down. We were like, oh no, that don't sound good. That don't sound like a successful brand organization. That structure is not how it's supposed to be built. Now here we go. Fast forward to this season. Now is a whole thing. Now it's Brandon Sure and his power and how much his say so he have. Whether you on my side and you believe like he was right in that situation, or you like Lord, you like he was wrong in that situation. The fact of the matter is that's just one situation that we were made privy to. How many other decisions that this guy made? So how much power does Brandon Sure have? How much power does Tom Garfinkel have? How much power did Chris Greer have? Do you start noticing this trend? Every season, it's a different person that we not giving credit to how much power they got. That tells me there's a bunch of people with like a bunch of chickens with their neck cut off.
1,000%.
No guidance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are we doing here?
We ain't doing shit. That's why, Tone. That's why, right? It's getting worse, right? First season, oh my God, look, second season, third season, yeah, this season is going to be horrible. It's getting worse because there's nobody, to your point, there's no direction, bro. Like, if I asked you today, Tone, and we're, 2 weeks away from the draft? I know we're going to get in the draft talk. What direction is Miami going in? Where's the direction?
I mean, we can speculate, but
exactly. You could, but you know what the problem is? When you speculate, right? Could they use a D tackle? Sure.
Yes.
Could this team use some help in the secondary, whether it's safety or corner?
Safety or cornerback, yes.
Sure. Could they add a pass rusher? Sure. Could they add a wide receiver? Sure. Could they add whatever? A guard? Sure. Right?
Tackle,
right? Tone. That shows you a team of no direction. It's all over the place. It's everywhere. You see what I'm saying? We just named off 9 positions.
That's a fact.
And we're talking about
you didn't even mention quarterback.
And quarterback, right? We're talking about legitimate starting people at these positions. Not just, we can add a depth guy here no, we're looking for starters at these positions.
It's crazy how many positions we have either a need there because we don't have starters or uncertainty there because the people we have in the position we're uncertain of. Like, i.e., Patrick Paul. He's young. We're uncertain with him. We don't know what he's going to give us. What is he going to bring us? We have no idea. What are they going to do at guard? You brought in James Daniel. Cool. He's coming off an Achilles injury. Then you got Liam Eichenberg. What are we doing there with Liam Eichenberg? So that's a potential, at least one. At least one question there. We don't know at guard. So that's another uncertainty. Both of the safeties. Uncertainties. Who's starting at safety? The dude Matafawu or he's coming off injury. Isn't he coming off injury as well?
Well, it was supposedly, the play is good when he's on the field. He just can't stay healthy.
Can't stay on the field. Uncertainty. Right. Mm-hmm. Cornerback. Who's playing cornerback opposite side of Ramsey? Uncertainty.
Even the second safety with Aston Davis. Is that really going to be the
That's
answer?
why I ain't mention him because that's all clear. I take that as we got to need that safety.
Yeah, right.
You get what I'm saying? We got to need that safety. You got uncertainty. And it's just the tackle. We brought back Benito Jones, but we all know, respect to Benito Jones, but we need the tackle. Uncertainty. Like, we have we have more questions than answers at this point. And that's because, like you say, lack of direction. We don't know from one season to the next. We don't know what direction this team going on. Case in point, we started, seems as if we were building this team the right way, building through the draft. All of a sudden, Bradley Chubb became available. You started with that F them picks. You remember that, Lou? F them picks.
Absolutely.
You want Roquan Smith or Bradley Chubb? Tyreek came available. F them picks. We went from building the team from the draft to all of a sudden, F them picks. We in win now mode. They brought in Chase Edmonds. I know people forgot about that. They brought in Chase Edmonds in the offseason, to help with the team and along with Mostert. So they started to kick in to win now mode. Then you bring in Ramsey. F them picks. I'm like, okay, now we in win now mode. That was less than 2 years. They switched from building right to win now mode. And now look, where are we now? Are we still in win now mode? Are we still in win now mode? Because someone please explain to me that. I don't get it. No sense of direction. They don't have a direction. You don't know. You have to, at some point, you have to pick a strategy and see it through. Remember when we were talking about the coaches and we were like, yo, you need some stability there. You cannot always have a change in coaching because that's not good for the team. Well, you can't always have a change in philosophy either. You have to.
The problem, Tone, and this is a great. This remember the conversation we were having the other night on TD's platform. At the end of the day, bro, it's Stephen Ross. I know we blame the collective. I know, bro, it's Stephen Ross. Because what you just said there's no sense of direction, right? And let's highlight some of the things. There was obviously pushback for Tua's contract, right? There was some pushback. Coach McDaniel went over everybody's head, went to the owner and said, I need my guy. So to your point, they were trying to be in a direction, got overrid, went behind people's back. Chris Greer had a trade offer for Calais Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to pull the trigger. Some man went to Daddy Ross. Daddy Ross sided with that one man. So when there's a direction trying to be made, it's always some backstabbing within the organization. There's always, I'm going to go over you, or I'm going to go around you, or I'm going to. But we're talking about a collective. Where is there really a collective, Tom?
No, and that is favorites. Whoever was Ross' favorite at that time, or whoever says what he liked the most, that's the person he's going with. But you know what? You just brought up something that made me pose this question. How does something like that happen? Even if it's a collective, then that mean before any decision should be made, this collective should have agreed on this. How come everyone wasn't on board with moving on from Calais Campbell before it was posed to Ross? How does it get to the point to where Mike McDaniel got to be like, hold on, whoa, now, hold on, give me a second. No, I think we still can win. Why Mike McDaniel, Brian Flores, Brandon Short, Tom Gruff ain't have that conversation before it went to the owner and they started shopping that pick around? What, you don't see the disconnect in that? That's not how franchises are supposed to be ran. That is troublesome to me. That's concerning. I'm sorry, that's the word I'm looking. That is concerning to me because that don't seem like being on the same page. It don't. I'm sorry. I see shaking Game Boy saying hit the button. Yeah, listen, y'all. We having a nice dialogue right now. So y'all just hit that like button. I didn't have a chance. It's 41 of y'all in here. So y'all hit that like button real quick. And if y'all don't do it do it on the way in. And if you want to wait to the end because you're too engaged in the conversation, go ahead and hit it on the way out. While y'all here, if this is your first time here, or if you just a returning listener, please hit that subscribe button. We still on that road to 500. Last time I checked, I think we were 16 away. I believe we were. So I'll check it a little bit later. But go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Get the boys to the 500 so we could do that giveaway. And we appreciate y'all. Appreciate everyone in the chat that's showing love to the channel and telling them, making sure everybody hit that like button. But yeah, Lou, like I was saying, it's a bit concerning for me to see that things that are like that are transpiring behind the scenes. Also, it's a bit concerning to me to see that this type of stuff get out in the public because there's no way you go shop around a guy on your team, especially one that was giving you great production, and y'all are not on the same page. To now, because think about it like this, Lou. Let's think bigger picture. You, Chris Greer, went to whatever team, said team, had a deal in place. That team is counting on that. You gave them your word. That's what we're doing. Okay, cool. Now that team is starting to figure out their books, figure out what they're going to move, this and that. What if they said something to the person that they was probably going to move on for and already had that conversation with them? Now you just put that franchise in an awkward position because your coach decided to go over your head and now all of a sudden you change your mind. Don't you think that's burning bridges? And people, you losing trust in you, and now I don't want to do business with you because I'm like, I can't even trust your word. At any given time, your head coach could go over your head and be like, no, I don't think we're gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna make it like, is this resonating with anyone else, or are y'all not looking at it from that standpoint? Because what are the other GMs saying about you when it comes to dealing with the Miami? We talk about trading Tyreek. Who's to say? Oh, not well. Yeah, you're saying that, but how we know what you say is true? How does Mike McDaniel feel? Can you imagine you going in there doing let's just say whoever it's Chris Greer is the one that talked to him about people trading, and now word is Brandon Shaw is the one to talk about the money. Could you imagine Chris Greer going in there trying to trade Tyreek, and the other GM look at him and say, well, is Mike McDaniel on board with this? My brother. That's when I'm going to get that. You know how you say? Casalina boy? Go type in. Excuse me, say what? Now you're undermining me. Because now my peers don't even respect me as their peers because they're like, you need to check in with your head coach now, bro. Think about that, putting him in that situation. Now, how are your negotiations going to work? Hit the like button if you don't see Alex on the panel.
I'm sorry, Tone. I had to put it up, man. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Game Boy 305 is wild, bro.
That's crazy. I had to put it up.
Oh man. So that is like, I don't think people are looking at it from that standpoint to where now, how is your relationship with Mike McDaniel now? And then on top of that, how is your relationship with Stephen Ross now?
Well,
because
Tone,
Mike McDaniel said it, but you allowed it to happen.
Well, stay right there, Tone. Remember what people said when Brian Flores was here, and Brian Flores was reportedly going behind Chris Greer's back, and he wasn't working with him, and people said, well, they had to. Mike McDaniel has gone around. How do you feel? You're saying, what is the relationship? What do you think Chris Greer and other people feel about Mike McDaniel if Mike McDaniel is reportedly going behind their back?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, for real.
How do you think that makes them feel?
It's creating a rift. Well, at least it has the potential to, because let's just stay right there. What if Brandon Shaw, Chris Greer, listen, we got this fourth round form. How does this affect us on the numbers? What we gonna do? What we looking to do with this draft capital that we gonna gain, and how is next? How it's gonna affect us next season? Let's take all this in consideration. And then he went over there, and now you derailed not only Chris Greer's plan, but now Brandon Shaw too. Now I gotta switch things up. Now, what I thought I was gonna be working with, I'm not. The amount of draft capital I thought I was going to be able to include when it comes to doing the numbers and how to factor out this cap situation, I'm not. Because we all understand rookies are cost way less than vets. So now you essentially probably messed up two of your colleagues or your employees or whoever, however you want to call them. Now they have to change everything they was doing because you want to switch up at the last minute and have it your way. For lack of a better term. Now it's your way, right away. Now you Burger King all of a sudden. So the hard work we did, forget what we were doing. Forget the negotiating and what we're doing. You feel like you could win. All right, cool. If it works out, you got it. Okay. But it failed. It failed. We didn't make the playoffs. We had our first losing season since Tua got on this team. Now, wasn't you one of the main factors for him getting that contract that we didn't want to pay either? So now we in cap hell because of you. Now we don't got the draft capital that we thought we was going to have because of you. And both of your decisions came and bit us in the ass. Now how you looking at him? If you Brandon Sure, if you Tom Gonfield, if you Chris Greer. And then first, let's put it. How you looking at Stephen Ross? Who you think knew Stephen Ross longer? Brandon Sure, Tom Gonfield, or Mike McDaniel? I'm just saying. A lot of people could feel some type of way, and that's probably why we seeing a lot of turmoil. That's all I'm saying. If y'all want to look at it from whatever standpoint, think about it from that standpoint. And this is where we see the dysfunction at with this franchise. You know, I'm in here. I got to ask you, I'm asking you, how does this affect the draft? And you like, okay, cool. It might not. But then another thing I'm doing is saying, how come? Hold on. Nah, I don't. No, not really. I see what you said. No, I don't. But what I was gonna say? My bad. I see you in the chat. Now mine don't. Lou. But yeah, I'm asking you, how is this gonna affect us in the draft? And then it don't matter because if we want to, oh my God, what if they do a draft day trade? Oh my God, we put it together a draft day trade, and then all of a sudden it's some dysfunction in there, and they have a disagreement, and now it's crazy, and you on the clock. Man, we can't have that going on, man. At some point, you have to step back and realize this is not conducive to a winning franchise. Oh, I'll check in a minute. I'll check. Give me a minute. I'll check in a minute. Yeah, so back to what else? I'm sorry, you keep putting this no, I don't see that. I see what you put in the chat, Lou, but I don't see it, bro. And I'll check afterwards. Right. I'll check afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that turmoil that's going on, I'm like, that's we have to nip it in the bud right now. Somebody got to stand up. Who gonna stand on business? Who gonna stand on business? Somebody please explain to me who they think have the authority or the ability to stand on business. Because it don't seem like no one can stand on. Mike McDaniel's going over people's head. I don't know if you want to call that standing on business. But someone has to grab a hold of this franchise and get it pointed to the right direction and keep it there. Keep it steady. Slow and steady wins the race. You don't always have to be on the fast track. Live fast, die young. So let's relax with this. But I also did what I did want to say, Lou, with the because we were talking about Tyreek. Yeah, the trade rumors. Do you think this right here? Now, what do you think his value is and his market? Do you think this affects his market now?
Man, that I don't know, man, because listen, we all know when you're again, I know it's kind of been the bad session on Tyreek Hill. The fact of the matter is, bro, he's still a productive player in this league. And I think teams ultimately that's what they look for. And we've seen it in the past where maybe teams put up with hell, the Miami Dolphins been putting up with stuff because he's been productive. So from that standpoint, I do think Tyreek still has value to a team, right? Like, again, if you're Kansas City, I don't think Tyreek holds value to you because you've been winning without him.
That's a fact.
And Buffalo and the Ravens and stuff, I don't think he has value there. But if you're a team young, up and coming, maybe a quarterback that's on a rookie deal, or maybe you have a lot of money to spend, and Or again, a young and up and coming team like the Commanders, right? Perfect example. Young up and coming team. Now, from a locker room standpoint, maybe you don't want to put Tyreek in
I
the
was gonna
locker room,
say, yeah.
right? I get that. But if I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, if I could add a weapon to Tyreek Hill, that feels like a young and up and coming team that might feel they're one piece away, one player of his magnitude away. Now, do I think Tyreek is worth a first round pick at this point? I do not. I would hope to at least get a second,
See,
something like that. But I mean, I don't know. I do I think he has value to Tone? Yes, I do think he has value. Now, again, I think it's from a team to team basis, though. I don't think every team in the league is looking for Tyreek services, but I do think there would be a team or two that would be willing to make that investment.
you know what, Crypto? And I know I'm a Ken Wood fan. I am. And that might be true.
That's cap.
I'm gonna tell you that might be true because if you follow Cam Ward, and at least from the stories that we got out of Miami, one thing Cam Ward don't do, he don't play, and he stands on business. He lets people know he's the leader, and he holds people accountable. He lets you know from off the rip first day. Now I know it's college, so it might be a little bit different when you go in the league, and you know those people been in the league, they're vets. But I think you need a guy like that comes in and already think he's the leader. You see how he's been conducting himself leading up to the job, telling people about who you think has the best chance of winning the playoffs next year or making it to the playoffs next year. He says he picked the 3 teams, Tennessee, Cleveland, and the Giants, I think it was. And he was like, whoever drive Cam Ward. You know, so that's the difference. And like and Jerry just said he might be going to if he goes to the Titans most definitely might take a fly on him. But I just think, hey, you guys, okay, I don't want my good brother fighting no more.
That's crazy, man. Hey, man, stop, man.
It won't be other we ain't fight. I'm so sorry. Listen, man. No, sir. No, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Things like that gonna happen, my brother. It is what it is. But to your point, Lou, certain team, if you got a young up and coming quarterback, or you have a young team that don't have that strong leadership in the locker room, yeah, you should stay far away from Tyreek as possible. You know, because hey, listen, he missed his first game this season in his whole career, so it might be, you never know. You know, he had surgery twice, so you don't know how that's going to affect him, albeit it's just a risk or whatever. But I don't know. At what point do we think he's going to start slowing down? So I get it. So you might have to look at it from that standpoint. But a team that's on the brink, I think they would take a fly on him. Like, you know, what about if at late in the season, the Rams are just feel like they one player away from getting back to the Super Bowl and doing some, they might take a fly on them. I think
the Houston Texans could take a flyer on them.
Didn't they just bring someone else in there though? I know Stephon Diggs left.
Well, Stephon Diggs left, and you know what's the Tank Dell's not playing in 20. Mm-hmm. He's not playing in 2025.
Nico Collins, but I thought they brought him in another receiver. I'm not sure. I had to go double check.
Yeah, but that other receiver is not going to be on the caliber of Tyreek Hill.
No, that's a fact. Yeah, that's that's big fact. So that could be teams. So I don't think it might not be. Some team, like you say, you only just need that one team that willing to take a fly if they think Tyreek could change the trajectory of their franchise or their season, not their season, because he has to be it got to be a team in win now mode. But I think they're going to be more reluctant to give up that second round now. They might be like, man, we'll give you a third. You know, maybe a conditional second. We could start negotiating there, but you're not starting at no second. He gonna have to earn that. And and at this point, I'm sorry. Get whatever you can for Tyreek. Move on. I'm not mad at it. I'm just good. I'm sorry. it's too much. But before we wrap it up, Lou, we an hour in. Um, I know you said Tyreek, Taylor Ramsey, and you also said Tua. Listen, guys, the only superstar with the initial TH we need in South Florida. Not Tyreek Hill, but Tyler Hero. No, sir. My initials are TH also. You see that? I'm the only superstar you need in South Florida. You hear
Tyler
me?
Hero.
Dang,
Tyler
boy.
Hero. Heat lifer. Tyler Hero. Heat lifer.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, I'm sorry if you had, and I know you said it don't change the Dolphins strategy, but if you had it your way, are you picking wide receiver a little bit higher than you would initially would have before the Tyreek all this madness came out?
Higher? Probably not. Because remember, I told you, I like Savion Williams out of TCU. He could probably, again, if he's there at 98, that would be my pick in the third round. I would love to have a guy like Savion Williams at 98. But that's like, again, no. At 13 or even in a trade back scenario, if you got, went up to like 18 or back to 18 or 19, I would still go secondary. I can't believe I'm about to say this live, but I would go trenches somewhere, defensive line, offensive line in the second round, and then possibly somewhere in the third, maybe for a wide receiver if you wanted to do that. But no, I don't think it. I posed the same question earlier today. I don't think it would change mine though. We brought that dude from Tennessee, Westbrook, Akeen or whatever. I don't know if anybody's been looking at Waddle here recently, posting some videos of him working out. He looks like he's in great shape. Malik has been putting in work. And Tone, I don't usually do this, Tone. You know me, I stay humble. But I'm going to toot my own horn here a little bit. Toot, right? The fact of the matter is, I know a guy in the community last year that told everybody, well, again, hey, it is what it is. It's wild, but I did it. Hey, remember Tone? Remember Tone? I brought up A-Chain getting more involved in the passing game last year, and maybe they could see a vision. Remember Tyreek started, he was a gimmick guy, this and that and the third. Look what he is now. Again, I'm not saying A-Chain playing predominantly on the outside, but maybe the Dolphins do have a vision, and again, they incorporated him a lot more last year in the passing game. Could he even get more, right? Especially with people saying, Tone, that they want running back in this draft as well. You still have Jalen Wright. He's been putting in work. Again, I like Malik Washington, Westbrook Akeen, Waddle. Remember Taj Washington that we stored last year? He's coming back as well. Nah, I wouldn't move up to go get a receiver. It wouldn't draft or in the draft. I wouldn't necessarily say I would
pick a receiver earlier.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Not for me, at least.
I would. I'm not gonna. I would.
How high are you thinking at 13?
No. Hell no. See, now I'm not gonna be coming into the season because I was thinking along the same lines as you are. I'm like, we got Tyreek, we got Waddle. Tyreek probably his last season, so he probably want to pad his stats and look better for his next team. Waddle might, we understand they about to get that man going because we understand what's going on behind closed doors. So I think that plays a factor. I did like what I seen out of Malik Washington. Also, let's not forget, even though they brought in the dude from Tennessee, but let's not forget they stashed Taj Washington too. They liked him, so they stashed him. So that's five. That's five receivers right there, and so it wasn't a big deal for me. And you could go, like you said, you want to get Savion Williams. It depends on where he falls. He might be in the fourth round, third or fourth. I don't know. I was more like, I'm not gonna lie. I was like fourth or fifth round lower. Get your receiver.
Damn.
That's just where I was coming into the season. Now, I'm not gonna lie. If they want to do a second or third, well, a third preferably. But if they
third, right?
if they take one in the second, I ain't gonna be mad at it. I'm sorry.
Hey, Tone. I know you didn't say this, or you don't really have nothing to do with this, but I trust your expertise in a lot of situations. You care to elaborate on this right here? What do you think this means?
Tyler Hero's girl is, I don't know, maybe she watching.
Hey, you know what? You know what, Tone? You know what, Tone? All I gotta tell you, Tone.
God damn it! I like the way you do business.
You know what, Tone? I like that. I like that right there. I like that.
Hey, he's trying to catch me slipping, boy. No, sir. But yeah, look, he said all magic. Go get a 6'2" receiver. We got one. Dre, you forgot? We got one, my brother. Got him from Tennessee. And he had 9 touchdowns last season.
We already got one anyway. His name is Eric Izakama.
Easy E. I ain't gonna lie. Higgins from our state looking a little bit more intriguing to me now. To tell you right now. Go ahead and grab him. Go ahead and grab. Yes, I'm sorry. Yo, KP, see this is why you see. Hey, listen, man, it's 45 of y'all still in the building. Please hit the like button. I did check, so I do want to give y'all some thanks and say we appreciate y'all. We were 16 away. We are now officially, let me double check. Last time I checked, we was only 9 away. We was at 491. So listen, we're 9 away from that 500 and doing that giveaway. We still doing that giveaway. I did say I was going to add in a draft hat as well as the jersey of your choice. So hopefully you don't pick Tyreek. But yeah, let me double check before we get up out of here, man. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. We got what we got. We still got 45 in here.
No. I don't know what this dude Tony's talking about. Pick a Tyreek jersey. They're about to go on sale. God damn it. That would be cheaper for the channel, man.
Yeah, 43 of y'all still in here, but 44, and it's 38 likes. We can get the rest of them likes up. But we do appreciate y'all. We listen, 491. We're 9 away, so we on the road to 500. Thank you for all the extra subscribers. We came in at 486, so we gained 5 in this show alone. Appreciate y'all. We will. And Lewis, anything else before we get out the building?
Well, Tone, I just want to say I appreciate you letting me come back to the platform.
Oh man, listen.
You know, I really do appreciate that, and yeah, hopefully you guys see me on Friday, man. You know?
Hey, that's the most. Yeah, you cut it out. Hey, listen, Ben. I would say this live because I don't think we ever said this live over here. We listen, Benjamin, Trey, well, me, Lewis. We got the fellas just for all our subscribers. We will be putting together. We're gonna try to do a road trip to that road game to Charlotte. But as the Blitz pickup, we're planning a couple of road trips for you guys, and we do plan on going live on some of these spots that we do. So we're gonna be bringing y'all some different content. Once that schedule drop, we will know have a better idea. But I just want y'all to know we are planning something. So just in case y'all was thinking about any game that y'all want to visit and y'all want to pop out, you know, we do tailgate. So y'all want to pop out to the tailgate and meet the boys in person. We are going to have a couple of road trips. So we might be coming to a city near you and bringing the show live. So look at Trey. Look at Trey.
No.
Man.
Hey, Tone, what I'm going to tell Dre is, with all that money, so Dre has bets, $5 bets with a lot of people in the community, right? So once Tua plays all 19 games, Dre can buy his own goddamn ticket with all the money he's winning.
He most definitely up. But yeah, Yo, looking for dang Ben, that's how you feel. I want to let him back up that Tony if I was you. And you got a wrench.
Hey, that's crazy, man.
Hey, he say, Lewis Wright, salute. He say, I mean, look at that. I'm coming down next year, so better see all of. Hey, listen, you know what time it is. Just pull up to the tailgate. I don't know. You know what, Lou? We might. You know what? Let me talk a little about backstage. See if we put something together for the home opener. Let's see how it is first. Let me slow down. But yeah, man, we got different content coming out to y'all because I do want y'all to see how it goes on the road, and see that we really are outside. You hear me? Lewis, don't forget to mention toy driving, Charlie.
Hey. Oh man, that's crazy, man.
That's crazy. But yeah, man. Listen, we appreciate y'all. Help us. We 9 away from 500. Hopefully by Friday, the turn up will be for 900. I probably for sure. I'm taking a shot on camera. We do get that. Hey, listen, I want to appreciate everyone that come in, everyone that's rocking. All our new subscribers. I do check the numbers. We still have, hey, Lewis, what I told you, what I always say, it's y'all job to bring them over here. It's our job to keep them here. And that's what we've been doing. I've been watching the numbers. I've been seeing that people have been rocking with the content. So we want to give y'all our appreciation. You can see we rock with our chat. I'm in, what do you say? I'm in ATL too, Von Joe. I thought he was saying T. I thought he said he was in TI. I was like, what?
Hey, yo, that's wild.
Like, hey, yo. Oh, yeah. Game Boy. Super Box game. Listen, man. You see this little blue box right here? Listen. You can't go wrong with be the best investment. Get you some real good Wi-Fi, and you watch any channel you want. Hey, if you especially if you're an out-of-towner watching the Dolphins games, you got to pay for NFL Network. They don't pay us to do this, but I appreciate Lewis for putting me on. Appreciate Marino. I seen him in the chat earlier for putting everyone on. Y'all go get that. But yeah, that is kind of wild. They killing you, Von. Dude. Listen, when I pulled up that chat, y'all didn't see that A either. Don't even lie. Y'all didn't see. Tell me y'all can't. You look right past that A. Hey, Crypto, I'm sorry, my boy. But listen, man, we appreciate y'all. We are getting out of here. We'll see y'all Friday, 7:30-ish. Once again, unless some other breaking news come, we probably gonna start popping up on y'all.
You gonna see me on Friday unless Tony tells me to shut the. No, never mind.
Hey,
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk, man. So no, I'm just playing. Hey, that's the last one, man. Hey, for real. Listen, it happens. That's my God. Will always be my God. It is what it is. We'll see y'all on Friday, man. Appreciate y'all. Goddamn, Tony, you always closing out the show. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. We out. Peace.
Deuces.